Hello, good day. It's Klassik King here, back with another video. Hope everyone is staying blessed and staying safe out here in these times in this world. You know, it's getting a little hectic out here, right? Listen, you better gain knowledge, you know, because this day and age, we coming to a point in time where the goats and the sheep are going to be separated. All right. If you don't know what that means, research it. But in this video, what I'm going to discuss is a prophetic dream that I had. Alrighty, and I'm gonna start by the beginning. All right. So, the beginning of this dream, you know how all dreams go. It could jump from one thing to another. It may not make any sense, or which, you know, but this is one particular instance in one part of my dream that I had in this particular night that was, for me, I feel like it was very prophetic, and it's only right for me to share this with the rest of the world. All right. So there was a whole bunch of people, right? We were in this building, very large, like a castle-like type of ordeal. We all started exiting the building, right? People all going in different directions. I remember seeing two big dogs, and they had tongues kind of like big and proportionate to their body. Like their tongue size didn't match their body size. They were very big dogs, probably almost as high or as tall as I was, but their tongues were like very big, okay? I see them, I take notice to them, and I keep walking, okay? And eventually, as I keep walking and other people are walking around me, I come to this portal type thing on the ground, okay? And massive of people were walking into this portal, and in the middle was kind of like a white circle kind of thing, okay? As if they were like going to the light. Okay, you ever see movies and they're like, don't go to the light. Don't go to the light. Okay, that's kind of how it was. Like, it was this vortex, and people were walking into this vortex. In the middle was like a white center, and they were going to this kind of like light thing. Okay. Now, something in my spirit, looking upon everything that was going on and looking around and everything, something in my spirit told me, don't go into that vortex. Don't go into that light. Okay? Like, so I'm just, and my spirit just told me, just don't do it. So I took heed to it. I took heed. And what ended up happening was I stayed around just looking at people just walking into the portal, right? And they were like kind of like disappearing, kind of, you know. And I stayed around just watching people like just going into this portal type thing. And eventually the portal shut. Like, the portal just like closed up, okay? And all within that moment of the portal shutting or closing down, whatever you want to call it, everybody who had the discernment not to go into that portal, or whoever even didn't make it into that portal, somehow knew instinctively that like they made the right decision. Nobody said anything. It was just like instinctively something in our spirit told us that like we made the right decision not to partake in following the crowd and going into that portal. Okay? So basically, after we all figured out that we made the right decision, it was almost like we figured out that we were, how can I put it, like the angels or the good ones, the chosen ones. You know, like we made the right decision to trust our instincts, to trust our spirit, not to follow in with the rest of the crowd. Right? Okay? So, the people who went in, I could see some turned into like zombies or Frankenstein type of creatures. And I know a lot of movies depict zombies as like The Walking Dead, but really, if you can't think for yourself, you are already The Walking Dead. Point blank. And in this world, as I'm making this video now, you being a human being, if you don't think for yourself, if you don't have discipline or discernment for your life and what's going on in your life and your intuition, you're pretty much already The Walking Dead, okay? And hence, it's a whole nother subject, but where the whole AI thing comes into place, the whole NPCs and everything else come into place, okay? So, I saw my cousin, right? A very cousin that's near and dear to me, man. Somebody who I played sports with, went to his house to just chill, sleep over. Actually, his mother is my favorite aunt, you know? And after that portal closed and we've realized what was going on and who we are, I saw him and we embraced each other, man. We had a moment together, like, because one, I know what he went through. He been through a lot in life, you know, and he was somebody that everybody looked at as like was gonna be somebody, you know. And I'm not saying he's not anybody, but the vision that other people had for him, I feel like is not what he lived up to or what was given to him in life, you know. And he knows everything that I've been through. Not everything, but you know, my somewhat of my situation. And we just embraced each other. We shed a tear together because we just knew that we made the right decision. And not only that, we knew what each other has been through as far as struggle. That's why I'm somebody that, like, I never compare struggle, because my struggle may be different from yours, you know? And just because I went through something that may be seen as more detrimental, more tragic than you, doesn't mean that my struggle is any more important or any more of a great story than yours. Because we all have a struggle, you know. We all have limitations, you know. So each and every one of our struggles are catered to our growth, you know. One of the things that I always tell people is that the Most High never puts anything more than you can bear, okay? So always remember that. Always remember that, you know. We learn and we must grow. If we don't learn and we don't grow, we stay stuck in the same place and we get manipulated by the system, by the programs, by the illusions of this matrix that's been running for decades, okay? So after that, we somehow knew that like the struggle was done. The pain was done. Like we made the right decision not to follow the rest of the people, and all we gotta do is stand firm in where we are at now. You know? And I saw some other people that I knew and I embraced them too. Like, yo, what's up, bro? What's up, sis? I see you. You know what's up. Know what I mean? I see you. You knew what was up. What's up. You know what I mean? You knew the deception that was being played on the masses. You know what I mean? And you one of the few ones that didn't follow into that. You know, so we kind of all embraced each other and was just like, yeah, we here. You know, we're gonna be taken care of type thing. Like, we didn't think like the struggle was necessarily totally done, but like we knew that in that point in time that like we made that right decision. You know, and so after that, I started walking around maybe a little bit more, right? And I seen this child. He was running around playing with like a big match. Think of like a torch, right? But instead of a torch, it was like a big match, like a match that you would strike from a matchbook, but yet it was unusually large, right? He was holding it in his hand like this, okay? And he was just running around playing with the flame, right? Just running around playing with the flame. And next moment that I know, he ends up he sets himself on fire, right? Somehow, some way, he's playing with this big match that's on fire, and he sets himself on fire. After already not going into the portal, okay, into this portal with the white light in the middle, he was safe, okay? But for some reason, he was still playing with this match, right? He was still playing with this match, this big match. And he set himself on fire, right? And as soon as he set himself on fire, he turned into the one of the zombies or the Frankensteins, right? And he was like he went from a little child to like a 6'7" tall zombie Frankenstein type looking thing, right? And all of a sudden, he like gained awareness of like what had happened, what transpired, what he did to himself, right? And all he did was just like, he covered up his face and just like, just ran off. Because he didn't realize like what happened, what he was doing, you know, and he covered up his face and just, he ran off. And a lot of the people who didn't enter the portal somehow like just ventured off or walked off, and like, you know how dreams go. I can't tell you the details, but like somehow some people just went their separate ways or whatnot, right? And I felt like an energy shift, right? Like just the energy just shifted somehow. And all of a sudden, I start seeing like these witches start coming out, okay? And the good ones, or the angels who were left and stayed, if they were not careful, would be taken or influenced by these witches and turn into one themselves, okay? And I saw a woman who didn't enter the vortex. She was still like this angel, this chosen one, this benevolent being, you know, who didn't decide to go back into the light, right? And I guess somehow or some way she wasn't careful, and all these witches, right? It was like several witches that started like entering her, right? And I'm looking, and it was like several witches that started like cackling and all that, ugly, all that. But anyway, they enter her, and she starts turning into a witch herself. She ends up turning into a witch herself. Okay. And me looking at this, I'm like, oh crap. It's time for me to go. So I don't know how I knew I could do it, but I knew I just needed to get out that negative energy, that energy shift that took place. I knew that I had to get out of that, and somehow, some way or not, I just I flew. I just took off. Yeah, I didn't think about it. If I could do it, I just went up into the air and just started flying, and just went off, and escaped what was going on in that round. And then I ended up, coming back into my three-dimensional body. But let's break this down for a little bit. Let's break this down, okay? All right, so let's break this down for a little bit. So, everyone that was in the castle, right? We all exited, right? So, from what I get from that is maybe we were in Satan's kingdom, right? Which what represented the castle. Maybe everyone who exited was trying to get out of Satan's kingdom, right? Because most of us, even if we don't want to admit it, we are living in sin, which is part of Satan's kingdom. A lot of Christians are still living in sin. And to be honest with you, as far as Christian, I was raised Christian, but Jesus, he wasn't a Christian. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these religions, or like I said in one of my other videos, is indoctrination. It's a form of political, social, and economical control. Okay? So we were in Satan's kingdom, and we might have tried to been finding a way out, right? Okay. Now, the two dogs, I'm going to say I haven't quite deciphered that yet. I haven't quite deciphered what the two dogs represent. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe, they say dogs are man's best friend. Maybe that was a way to say that we're going to be in abundance, or that we're going to have people to protect us. But I have some more contemplation to do in that aspect. So, just to be honest, I'm going to just put a question mark, okay? The two dogs. Now, going forward, when I said about the portal, right? Okay. The portal represents basically, when you don't learn a lesson in this matrix, you go back in that cycle of life. Okay? So I'm gonna put no lesson learned. Okay? Is that you didn't learn a lesson because what they call NPCs, there is no heaven or hell for them. They're just there just as a distraction to play their part however way they're going to play it. Okay? But the portal represents you didn't learn a lesson, you didn't see the signs, you didn't come into enlightenment, so you fall back right into this same cycle of life. And what I can say, time is irrelevant. Okay, I know a lot of Christians, maybe Islam, Jews may not believe in reincarnation, but I'm telling you, it's real. Because if you don't learn your lesson in this lifetime, you're going to have to come back and learn it all and go through it all over again. That's why there's certain people that feel like they're an old soul. That's why there's certain people that feel like they've been here before, or deja vu. That's another form of you remembering something that you went through in your past life, but you just can't put your hands on it, but you felt like you've seen this before or been through it before. So going through that portal was basically putting you back in the same cycle of life, okay? Not reaching eternal life, okay? So the people that went through the portal coming out as zombies, excuse my spelling if it's not totally right, but y'all get what I'm saying. Not the best speller, but the zombies or the Frankensteins that once they went through the people that went through the portal and then came out as like zombies or Frankensteins, they became part of Satan's kingdom again, which were the minions, okay? The minions, okay? The people who didn't go through that portal, you know what? Let's see. Okay. The people who didn't go through the portal and they just felt something in their spirit was God's chosen ones, okay? He separated his children from the rest of everybody. Even if they didn't understand why they didn't go through that portal, but they felt something in their spirit that was just telling them, nah, that ain't for me, okay? So the people didn't go through the portal were the chosen ones. Okay. Okay, so the imagery that I gave you of the child that was playing with a match, okay? Even though we made it through one trial, we didn't go through the portal. there's always more tests that we gotta go through, right? And he didn't go that child didn't go through the portal, but yet what I get from the child playing with that match was he wasn't spiritually enlightened. He felt in his spirit as a child he shouldn't go through that portal. But once, and even adults, it can even happen with adults, you know. Once he didn't go through that portal, maybe he felt like he made the wrong decision. Like, I saw all of my family go through there. Maybe I made the wrong decision, you know. So he started playing with fire, you know, set himself on fire, and ended up being one of Satan's minions, you know. Because what's going to start happening is there's going to be a lot of things that's going to start happening in this world, right? And as God's children, we're going to start questioning if we made the right decision, right? And if we start questioning, if we start questioning that, right? And we may come to the conclusion like, oh, I made the wrong decision, so I'm going to go where my family is. You know, you put yourself right back in that same loop. Okay, instead of getting your treasure up in heaven, instead of receiving God's kingdom and God's glory that he has for you, if you don't keep your faith, we are all God's children. You know, we are all God's children. So if we don't keep our faith and we somehow surrender to the beast, surrender to Satan, even though we didn't go into the portal, even if we didn't go into that portal, we start having second thoughts and start going backwards. We're going to enter back into Satan's kingdom and be one of Satan's minions. You know what I mean? One of the people that this matrix has control over, it can control. Okay, so that's what I got out as let me change that. That looked like an H, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I told you my spelling ain't that good. There you go. I corrected it. Don't hold it against me. All right, so child and matches, deception, we start playing with fire again, and we put ourselves right back in that loop, okay? And then after the child plays with the matches, and then when I say that, like, I saw the witches come out and come out. Okay, so all right, so the witches come out. So after we made the right decision of not going into the portal, going back into that loop, right? The witches come back out to try to do even more, I guess what you call it, deception. To try to attack us more so that way his chosen ones, God's people will surrender, right? And there were some people who surrendered, and that was like I was saying about the lady, okay? She had several different witches like enter her, okay? Because she wasn't careful enough to what was going on, and she inadvertently allowed several witches to enter her, and she turned into a witch herself, okay? But as we go through all this and we make it to where the witches come back out, okay, what happens is if we keep our identity within the Most High, if we know who we are, we know that them witches have no dominion over us. We know that them witches have no dominion over us. Okay? So we can see everything that's going on in the world, even some of God's chosen ones, some of God's children who made it this far. You know what I mean? And they still get deceived. You know, they still get deceived. Okay? But the ones who know who they are, they're going to see what's going on out here. And they're going to say, you know what? I'm flying off. I'm out of here. They're going to separate themselves from the rest of society, from the rest of the crap that's going on. You know, they bypassed, they passed a lot of the tests. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be test after test after test. And as soon as we surrender to Satan's kingdom, we're going to get snatched right back into it. All right, so keep your faith. I understand regardless of religion, because everyone's right. Everyone's right. If you watch one of my other videos, the only one that I would debate upon is the Roman Catholic Church. But everyone else is right. We all teach the same exact thing. We all teach the same exact thing. The Most High placed different people in different locations, okay? And that's why different religions have come about, okay? That's all. We all teach the same exact thing. We all believe there is a creator. We all believe in enlightenment. Not only enlightenment, but there's different paths to enlightenment. Okay? So don't get stuck necessarily on the doctrine. Don't get stuck necessarily on the religion. Most of all, seek knowledge for yourself. Okay? That's above anything. Forget what you were taught. Forget how you were raised. Seek knowledge for yourself. I understand a lot of us are raised in families that are very cutthroat, and if you don't assimilate, if you don't agree, if you don't follow the same path that your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, what they taught you, you may feel as though you're going to be ostracized or displaced from your family and outcasted and all that. Listen, I'm going to tell you this, listen. The road into the kingdom of heaven is narrow, okay? It's going to be some of your closest friends ain't going to make it. Some of your family members ain't going to make it, okay? If you do what is hard, things will be easy. But if you do what is easy, things are going to be hard. You know, Satan makes us believe as though, like, if you sell out to him, he's going to give us the world and this and that, glory and attention and money. But what does the word say? And I'm sure you may find it in other different religions or texts. But what is a man to gain the whole world and loses his soul? Listen, you can't take this world with you at all. At all. We didn't create this. You can't take it with you. You didn't create this. The only thing that you can do is leave a legacy behind. That's it. Put the work in. Leave something so that way other people can find the path that you took to get to where you went to. You know, that's all. And that's why, me personally, I feel like creatives, like creative people, whether you're a poet, a musician, a writer, an actor, even an athlete, an inventor, all type of creative people. You know, we revolutionized the world, okay? We changed the whole paradigm of how people think. If it wasn't for creative people, the system would definitely doom us all to hell. But it's our creative people that allow the rest of society, or maybe some of society, to think differently. Okay? There's a quote that I came up with. I've never heard of it anywhere else, but hey, if you heard of it somewhere else, let me know. But to my knowledge, I've never heard of it anywhere else. And one thing that I like to say is that imagination would take you further than anyone can teach you, okay? Because that allows you to have a mind of your own, okay? You take what you've been taught and you say, okay, I'm gonna take it even further than that. You know, I'm imagining up things that these people couldn't even imagine, couldn't even fathom, you know, couldn't even bring into existence. All right. So, most importantly, keep your faith and keep imagining, okay? Never allow yourself to be limited by your beliefs, by your indoctrination, or your education, okay? Seek knowledge for yourself. And I encourage other people, if you have a dream and you feel like it's prophetic, or you feel like it's speaking something to you that you need to like tell to the rest of the world, listen, put it on your YouTube, put it on whatever social media that you have. You know what I mean? So the rest of us can look at it. Because you may have something, you may have a vision, you may have a prophetic dream that could help me, you know? We may be one of the same chosen one. You know what I'm saying? We may be God's children together, but you may have something that I need. So if you have a dream and you feel like it was very prophetic, definitely share it to the rest of the world, because you may not know how many people you are actually helping reveal the rest of the system too. Okay? So, all in all, I'm gonna reiterate, this is a prophetic dream that I had. This is my interpretation of it. And I just hope that it may enlighten other people, you know, that you may start reevaluating your life. You may even start taking more consideration or attention to the things that are happening in your life, and not just let life happen to you. You know what I mean? And then start complaining about life. Oh, life. They say life is a bitch and then you die. No, it don't have to be. Listen, well, it can be. Life can be. You know what I mean? But you don't have to let it be. Okay? So this is my prophetic dream. This is the way that I interpret it. I hope that this can help somebody else in their own walk, their own faith, their own enlightenment, their own path to seek knowledge and wisdom and consciousness. Okay? So if any of you guys have anything like to say about my dream, or any things that you may have to comment or add in that maybe I didn't see, be sure to comment on that. You know what I mean? I definitely want the comments, okay? So like, comment, subscribe, and I appreciate all of y'all. All right? Peace and blessings.